Hello, so in this video we're going to show you how to set up schedule to run reports. So basically you may want to run certain reports at certain schedule that you set, and then email to your users. The other options that you can actually even FTP or print the reports on a schedule, on a set schedule. So let's go ahead and take a look at how that works. So this is the Express Report ES welcome page. So you want to first launch the organizer. Once the organizer is launched, you have this interface that shows you what are the reports and charts and so on in the organizer. So in this case, let's take a look at one of the reports. Let's say we want to schedule this report. So the report looks like this, and then you right click on this selection and say set schedule. Or you can also go in here and say set schedule, and then you basically go back to the same interface, and now you can enter a name. So let's say the schedule name called demo schedule. Then you have this report here, and you are ready to schedule it. So in the case of a report, you can also schedule chart, but let's say report, then you have the option of looking at what type of output to send to your user. So in this case, let me say PDF. You can also do Excel, CSV, and so on. So once you got that set up, then you are ready to set up the run schedule. So you can do like one time only, or you can do at regular intervals. Regular time interval could be like, okay, every 1 hour, every 2 hours, 30 minutes, whatever, or every 2 days, 3 days, and or once a month, that kind of thing. And then the other way is to set up a fixed date or week type schedule. So for example, here I can say every Sunday, Tuesday. So you can like set up a by pressing the I think the control key and select something like that, a schedule. Or you can say go ahead and instead of this, like days of the month, you type in the days, day 1, day 4, and so on, day 6. So a lot of flexibility. And then the other way is you can actually do a daily frequency. So not only say day of the week, say every Sunday, Monday, you can also say for that day when you run it, start at a certain time, like 5:30 p.m. and then you can put in all the times that you want to run. Say 7 p.m. See, and type in all the time. So you can set fixed time interval, say starting from 6 o'clock in the morning until like almost midnight, and every 1 hour, every 2 hours, and so on. So basically it's a lot of flexibility. So in this demo, let's go ahead and just say at a regular time interval, because I want to send this email to Matthews. Let me say every 3 hours I will send it. And the next thing is you want to set the parameters. If the report has parameters, you need to set it so that you know what parameters to run. So let's say I pick one parameter, and I can pick another parameter. Okay, so in this case, you would actually get the report with you actually get two reports. One is for first parameter, and then the other one is for second parameter. So after that, then you set up the email delivery. So let's say it's from my email, and the subject is report schedule let's say it's on sales transactions, let's say something like that. And then you can type in body text like hello, this is the daily report, or hourly, or whatever. I guess we say 3 hour, right? So this is the report that runs every 3 hours, something like that. And actually you can also set up some runtime parameters. For example, here I can say actually I can actually print out a timestamp in the report when I run it. Okay, so let's try this. And then you want to set up the recipient. So for recipients, actually you can do it in a couple of ways. One is you can send to the users already set up in the user database. So you just like pick the users, or you can actually also type in the email address. So let's pick a email, I guess. Okay, so we can set it to Matthews. So put an email address here. Let's see. Oops. Let me see. Pick up the email again. Put in the yeah. Okay. Okay. So once you have the recipient set up, then you are actually ready to go. So it's a confirm. Then the next thing is when you look at the view schedule task, you see the task right here. We just set it up, demo schedule, and the next export time would be actually 5:49 p.m. and right now is 5:48. So in 1 minute, it is actually supposed to send out a schedule. And after that, is every 3 hours it will send. So that's how you actually set up schedules. And want to point out a few more things. So one thing is when you set up a schedule, so let's pick another report. Let's say this report right here, and you schedule the report. You set up the schedule, and you can actually add another report or few more reports. So the idea is, instead of sending one report, you can actually send multiple items, multiple reports or charts to the users. So like in this case, I actually have a report and a chart, and okay, need to have a display name. So so this would be schedule 2, just a name, whatever. And then you also have the option to say for the report you want to have PDF or Excel or just yeah. So let's say we send an Excel file, and then for chart you want to set the there are certain things you can set, like what type of report format. So let's say do a PNG, and then again you have the choice to set up your schedule, one time only, regular interval, and so on. And then you can go ahead and again set up the schedule. Okay, so I guess this I don't want to repeat, and just want to show you the feature. And one more thing I want to mention is the report bursting. Actually, this is a very powerful feature that if you have a large report, you may want to have like a the report may have groups, and each like in a summary break report, each group actually you want to send that as a individual report to a user. So let me show you what I mean by this. Let's see. So for example, here I have a report. This is actually just an illustration, but this report has grouping. So when you preview it, you will see that you have different product categories. So like the other category is round table. The first category is side chairs, and so on. So what I mean is, then you actually have a concept of groups. And for report bursting, the idea is you may have a group of a subgroup. Basically, you want to send to an individual. So what you do is then, like if you have a large number of users, and each user actually only need to see a subgroup, then you can actually set this up as one schedule, and when the report is run on the schedule, it would basically break up the report into these subgroups and send to each individual. So when you set up the schedule, what you do is I'll just give it a name called bursting report. You don't have to use this name, of course. It's just a name. And again, set it up PDF or DHTML, whatever. And then when you run it, let's say this is a one-time thing, and then you set up the email thing the same way. By the way, yeah, what I mean is, you can do email, you can do FTP, or you can just print delivery. But in this case, let's just do the, just do the email. And then you have one more thing to set up, and that is you want to do bursting. So what you do is then in your report, you actually need to have a column that breaks on the same group level, but this would be like an email address. So, I mean, this report is not set up for bursting, but I just want to illustrate the point that one of the columns actually need to be an email address, so corresponding to each group. And then when you run it, then you can actually have the report broken up into smaller report and sent to each individuals. Then here you can set up your groups, the users, and in the same way. And so this is basically how the scheduler works. One more thing I want to mention is that you actually need to set up the SMTP server. So what you do is you need to let's see, right, so you need to actually go back to the admin console, and in the admin console you will be able to set up various options, and one of them is the mail setting. So basically you need to give it the SMTP host, and then you set up the different parameters, port number, whether you want to do SSL and so on, and the username, password. So you need to have an SMTP account. Once you set up, then you can do your the schedule can be mailed. Otherwise, like I said, you can still do FTP and printing. So that's basically it. There you have it. You'll be able to do schedules. Thank you very much for watching.